And I hear Yunos, but I don't hear any Kamabesh or Joe. So
Hello. Okay,
Okay.
yes, I am back after a refresh.
Kaba? What? Putz and 51 right now on Ordrius.
Yeah, I've got them just hitting a minute now.
Yeah, okay,
me too.
we're synced.
All right, so
You know we
Ordrius
good to go here, bud? Okay.
Okay.
I just heard him before you came back.
Yeah, we can hear him.
I think I just wasn't talking for a second. Okay.
All right, so on to our race. We got Putz going a little bit different here. Picks up a heart on the south coast after getting a bomb drop before going to level 2. Interesting little deal there. Something I have also thought about, but requires a little bit of luck. Meanwhile, Ordrius getting his bomb from the Master Guerrilla room.
Yeah, so Putz will enter 2, not quite a minute after Ordrius, but with the extra heart that hopefully will save him some time later on during the run.
Yeah, so interesting implication of picking up that particular heart is something that I have thought about. You can basically now skip the entire coast as long as you're not willing. You don't want to get a potion, basically. You can now skip the ladder heart and the raft heart entirely and just go up to level 5 instead of making that whole journey after level 4. So a lot of time can be saved with that particular method.
And I know that's a new route for Putz. He didn't attempt that in his first race against ACM.
And I'm wondering if it's something that he just came up with on the fly. I know it's one of those things where you have to get the lucky bomb drop. If you don't get it, you can't do that. So it's definitely
this
not
is something that Putz has planned, and I was pretty sure I thought he got that heart there on his first race, or at least he attempted to. Maybe he didn't get the bomb and moved on, but I know he planned on doing that route for his first race.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
that is the gamble.
Ordrius making his way out of 2 with no problems, getting up some money, and as I think we mentioned before, he is taking the red candle route, so he will not be buying the blue candle.
Putz having a little trouble with the Dodongo.
Yeah, it gets trolled just a little bit. Almost wish I could hear his comms right now, but not really. So does Putz go ahead and take the red candle route at this point too, or does he pick up a blue candle?
From what I saw in his last race, he picked up a blue candle. I tried to look it up just a little bit to do some prep before the commentary. So I expect he will be buying a blue candle.
Okay.
And Ordrius is going on to get the white sword without it, of course.
Putz taking a little damage there. I don't think he wanted to take, unfortunately. Ordrius looks like he's going to get the nice pattern from the Lionel there, so won't lose any additional life.
Putz definitely aware that he's taking the damage and a little frustrated about it from what I can hear.
Yeah, and almost skipping that heart, it looks like. So already a little flustered, perhaps tilting early in this race. Not good.
Yeah, Ordrius having a little trouble doing the screen scrolls, decides it's not worth the time, and just is walking through the boulder alley here.
Yeah, Ordrius has been offline for a while after having moved, so hasn't had too much of an opportunity to practice, but still pulling out the 2 seconds ahead of his PB there on level 2 so far, so not doing too bad.
Yep, meanwhile, Putz finally picking up his white sword.
And Ordrius entering 1.
Putz choosing to stop and kill the Lionel. Maybe that was out of spite, I don't know.
Oh, he may be trying to force a bomb drop. And by force, I mean hope for a random.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
At least in our world, it's the same thing. Ordrius making pretty quick work of level 1 so far.
The Stalfos with the key there, deciding to be a bit of a troll and walking as far away from him as possible. And getting good bomb drops from the Gurias there.
Yeah, 2 of them. Fantastic.
Yep. Putz, meanwhile, entering and leaving, and entering 1.
Yeah, only 2.5 hearts to work with here, so he's going to have to be careful to not take any incidental damage while walking through here. Every now and then those Guria can pop you with a boomerang with 1 heart left and send you back to the start of the level.
Oh yes, and while that may not be too much of a threat with level 1, later on when we get into level 7, we will be seeing a lot of bananas fly.
You may be able to get a couple hearts from the Stalfos also to tide him over. And he forced the bomb drop in the Stalfos.
So, yeah, good job for him. No hearts over, but he should be okay.
Unless he walks right into a gel.
Ordrius making his way into Aquaminus, 86 rupees, so not sitting too bad. Pretty much where you want to be leaving level 1. And is 2.9 ahead of his PB after level 1, so still making great time.
Well, it's down to just 1 heart now, as he's picking up the bow.
Yep, and he did not get the same type of bomb love from the Gurias as Ordrius did, so he's only down to 4 bombs.
Does manage to navigate the traps, so he should be okay unless he gets sniped by a Guria in that Lord Banana room there.
Ordrius deciding again to try and do the screen scrolls to get his way over to 3. He gets the first one without a problem, but now it's the important one. Takes it a bit slow, but does manage to pick it up.
Putz uses a bomb to kill Aquaminus, not taking any risk on fireballs.
Yeah, using those bombs pretty liberally, which isn't bad. Also at 86 rupees, so sitting okay for what he needs to do.
It looks like Putz is heading in the same direction, probably going to pick up that medium secret by the start on his way to level 3.
Most likely, and I assume he did not buy the candle before, the cave east of 5, so he'll probably pick it up from the shop here.
Either that or he's decided on a red candle route. We'll see.
Game music at its best, 24 hours a day.
Well, maybe that's the case. He is not stopping to buy a candle.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting there. I mean, with getting that early heart, it would make sense to get a candle so that you can get the other heart south of 1, and basically you would be able to skip the entire coast by doing that. But in doing it the way that he's doing it, you're still going to have to spend the time to get a heart over there in order to get your magic sword. So, just interesting choice. Unless he just doubles back after level 7 and gets the red candle. But either way, interesting.
Yeah, I think I'd seen Putz looking at a route that involved picking up a heart after level 7 before getting the magic sword. Probably whistling back to level 1.
Yeah.
Ordrius managing to take out Manhandla without too much of a problem. Picks up level 3's Triforce without a health refill.
Yeah, make it quick work. Still pretty close to his PB. We got Putz not too far behind in level 3 as well, so probably about a minute and a half behind at this point.
Yeah, and I wasn't paying that close of attention. Like we mentioned, we are not exactly sure how well these splits, if they are his PB or maybe it's just a race PB, but his splits show a gold level 1.
Yeah, it may be that those splits were on a blue candle rat, and that's where the times hit came from.
Yeah, it's always possible. It's difficult to tell. It is Putz. He likes to do different things, so...
Yes, definitely Putz plays by his own rules.
Ordrius sitting on, I believe, a 5 count right now, so should be able to force some 7 count. So we should be able to force some bombs in the Vire room if he's careful here and doesn't go too far, which it looks like he may have been on 10, so we'll see. That could have been a lucky fiber, but...
Putz just about to go into Manhandla. I'll have 3 bombs to work with.
Yeah, 3 bombs, not a lot, but better than 1 for sure.
Yep.
That's a first shot.
Having
I
to
get the
double
first,
back
yeah.
and chase a keys.
That'll
So
lose
I
him a
think-
good 5 seconds.
For the first time in the run, Putz is really in a comfortable spot with bombs, getting ready to go into 4.
Yeah, always nice to have those extra bombs going into 4. Very stressful when you're sitting low and you feel like you've got to force a count. I know when I'm that way, I end up running into everything in the world in between there and in the dungeons. So
He even picks up another bomb on the way.
yeah, so 8 bombs, 122 rupees. So he's got to get 8 rupees between between now and the end of 5 in order to pick up the meat and arrows. So he should be able to do that no problem, since there'll be 10 laying on the ground in level 4 alone.
Right.
Meanwhile, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just say, Ordrius has picked up his ladder, manages to get the ladder clip on the second try, and goes through that rupee room that we were just talking about.
Got plenty of rupees as well, so doesn't even need to take the time to pick up the last 4 on the ground. Is just going to head right towards Gliog.
Meanwhile, Putz working on the Dark Room's ladder, or block clip, and he gets it.
Ordrius managing to force a bomb drop as he heads into Gliok's room. Taking quite a bit of damage.
Ooh, heart and a half left, but does get it. I remember that was always my strategy as a child. When I did level 8, I would go get myself a potion and then just stand on Gliok's back and just stab as many times as I could until I finally killed it. Usually using both potions in the meantime.
My method of beating it as a child was something called a Game Genie.
That works too.
Alright, Putz is picking up his ladder. Got quite a few bombs off of the Vires, so he's still at a full 8.
Yeah, sitting good. Ordrius finally gets a screen scroll there. Gonna make a shopping trip, pick up the arrows and the meat. Meanwhile, Putz counts that, but does get 3 with the first, so gets a health drop as well. So he's got Beam Sword now, and Putz making his way over towards the world clip here. Did not pick up arrows, is that correct? He just picked up the meat?
That's what it looks like. Maybe he is opting to buy arrows from the coast shop. Doesn't make too much sense to me, because he's going to have to go down and then back up through the ladder heart screen, if that's the case.
Yeah, very odd. Definitely a time loss. Meanwhile, Ordrius making very quick work of the recorder room. Still 2 bombs, full hearts, and got it about 1728. So making pretty good progress there. Having Beam Sword and no life refill at the end of 5 is always super nice. So good job by him getting through that room. Gets trolled a little bit by the Dark Nuts in the next room, but gets through no problem. I believe he's still got his Gibdo bomb here on the... Yeah, he does. So gonna have 6 bombs, but does take a double tap in the meantime. That Gibdo wraparound is deadly.
Putz just got through his series of ladder clips and screen scrolls.
Yep,
Took a
and
few
sure enough,
tries.
he's heading in to buy his arrows now. I wonder if that's a conscious decision that he purposefully did that, or if he later, realized, oh shoot, I didn't buy arrows, I better get them here.
Yeah, not quite sure. I turned off his volume so I could actually concentrate, but it seems weird because it's a 2-screen transition lost by doing that, because you're walking by the arrow shop to buy the meat anyways, so there's no time lost by going there versus what he just did. So I guess we can ask him afterwards, but I assume that it was a mistake.
I suspect
Ordrius, meanwhile, trying to farm some bombs off of the Dodongo, but ending up with just a net 0 from it.
I
What were you going to
suspect
say, Calvin?
what happened with Putz is probably he had been looking at different routes and had one where he walked all the way along the coast and got the arrows there, and maybe forgot that it wasn't faster going this way.
Kind of the unfortunate problem of practicing many different routes. I was even watching Yunus last night, and he was messing around on 2 first route and then switched to 3, and in the level 1 room in the NSU room, he actually, instead of walking across the water, he ended up doing the zigzag. So even just a few times on a different route can really mess up your mentality on what you're supposed to be doing. So that's probably likely the case. Struggling a little bit with that clip to 5 too. So
yeah, it took one extra. The Ordrius is fighting that Dig Dogger and gets through it though.
A little rough, but does manage to get it. Always sucks when you get that 3rd hit and he starts moving really fast around the room and doesn't really go where you want him to go.
Yeah, probably still a little faster than menuing for the extra bomb and going back to the whistle.
Putz opting to leave the Gibdo bombs behind, seeing as he has 6 at the moment. Probably the smart decision.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, he's still a minute 20 ahead of his split, so it'd be interesting to ask him if this is actually the splits for this particular route, or if he had done something different when he did this the first time, but just interesting to note that he is that far ahead right now.
Yeah, we really won't know until he gets the red candle in 7, and then the level 7 split should sync up correctly.
Yeah, that's usually the equalizer in pretty much any run is level 7. Gets some good bombs, still has to take some swordmanship skills through the rest of the room, but does manage to get it taken care of, and it looks like he's going to pick up his recorder about 2106, so a little bit behind, but could be worse.
Ordrius starting his long trek through level 7.
Also known as the Hylian Sniper Academy.
He did really well in the first Korea room that you have to fight. He's only down 1 heart and killed them off pretty quickly.
And he's about to make his meat offering to Mr. Grumbles.
Did not feed the Dig Dogger though, so we'll see if that comes back to bite him. Putz picks up his Gibdo bombs, is going to make his way through the rest of 5. Sitting pretty good on life, so shouldn't have too much of an issue there, unless some very unfortunate things happen.
Yeah, I think he was trying to force another bomb and took a hit. So he'll get one. Oh, and the Dodongo ate a bomb too.
Oh no.
But he's got 7.
Yeah, he's got 7. He'll be alright, but...
Yep. Ordrius dipping down to the basement to pick up his candle.
22:15, so gets his candle about the same time that Putz is halfway through level 5, so he's about a level and a half behind right now. And Ordrius getting the random bomb, so he's excited about that one.
And we'll have to see where Ordrius gets his last heart before picking up the magic sword. Or I guess he'll get it right here in level 7.
Should be here at level 7, yeah.
So Putz has already lost whatever time he saved by getting that heart earlier in the run.
Yeah, it's something that Yunus and BT and I were having kind of a strategy session on blue ring routes and stuff like that, and what you could possibly do to save time. And one of the discussions is if you could get a random bomb there, you could forego a potion in a blue ring route and just get that coast heart and be able to save the entire coast trip, which is quite a bit of time saved. But you know, kind of interesting. He got that, but he didn't really utilize it just because he's going to have to, by not buying a blue candle, he's going to have to double back and do a bunch of other stuff in order to get that last heart that he needs. So unless he's just choosing to go to level 7, I suppose he's still got level 7 left. So
yeah, Putz will be fine on hearts. It's just a question of whether that getting that early one managed to save him any time in the long run. And Ordrius finishes up level 7. He's got the Triforce.
Killer level 7 too, cuts off about 8 seconds.
And Putz entering just as Ordrius is leaving.
Manages to get the screen scroll, skipping the Lost Woods a second time, fairly quick. As he makes his way into the graveyard to pick up the sword.
Putz struggling just a little bit in the river room here, but does get both of his hearts back to get his beam sword, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, it was nice to have the beam sword in that room.
Putz also forgoing the choice to feed meat to the Digdogger.
Keeping it for himself and the Grumble.
Ordrius making his way through the hardest room in level 6, just walking up past the traps.
And is working on that first Wizrobe push block room right now.
Yeah, find some hungry likes, but it's making pretty quick work of it. Does get bubbled, but should be able to make it through without too much of a life loss. So if I had to choose between getting eaten by a like and taking a couple of beams, I would definitely choose the likes.
Putz with a red candle time of 25:52.
That puts him about 3 minutes 40 seconds behind Ordrius, so
Yeah, but
quite a ways
Ordrius
behind.
is in a bit of a dangerous position here. A single red Wizrobe beam could send him back to start.
Yeah, down to 4 hearts, not where you want to be when you got to fight Wizrobe, so you're going to have to take it real careful in this next room here so that he doesn't die. Meanwhile, Putz choosing to clear out the Blue Guerrilla room to grab some bombs and will get back to almost full life in the process.
Ordrius took 1 hit from a blue Wizrobe. Get some bombs.
Definitely playing cautious here, which he needs to do.
And he does a good job. Finishing off the blue Wizrobe should be okay from here.
Yep, it's just a matter of he gets sniped in that one room before Goma. Putz getting decent Wallmaster luck in the reverse C room from 7. Makes his way towards Aquamentus.
Now, it looks like his spawns were messed up when he entered the level, so getting the red candle actually looked like it reset the spawns to what they should be, because he has some really nice bubble RNG there.
And Ordrius got a few free hearts from the Vyres just before going into Goma.
Kind of fairy to boot, so much smaller refill for him. Meanwhile, he picks up his level 6 Triforce just about the same time that Putz picks up his level 7. Looks like you called it there. Looks like it was a blue candle route, so by picking up that the red candle, looks like it's equalized. So
Yeah, it didn't seem like a bad level 7, so that must be the case, and he's just still having a good run though, only 10 seconds behind.
yeah, absolutely. I think for Christmas we all need to pitch together and get him an NES controller so we can quit using that as an excuse.
Yeah.
Ordrius is going south of 1 to assumedly pick up a safety potion before he takes on 8.
Probably a good choice. I've seen a few people do this. It just gives you that extra safety net in case things go really, really wrong. It would suck to have to use the potion in level 8, but at the same time, having to go back through it with 3 hearts or have to leave the level to refill your hearts in order to beat it would be much worse.
Yeah, if it means, having to, pick up an extra potion somewhere else, or, have to kill those dark nuts again, I would take the trip to go pick up an extra potion.
Definitely. But hopefully he won't need it.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is that he was going to pick it up before level 9 regardless, so it's really not much of a time loss, if any, to get it there. So it just basically just changes where you are in your splits, but again, gives you that extra sense of security for this level to be able to get through it and get to level 9.
Putz reclaiming Beam Sword in the Wizrobe room in level 6. That was a really quick room for him.
Yeah, very nice room, actually.
Ordrius gets a fairy in the first Dark Knot room, so both players getting good health drops.
Yeah, leaves that first room with Beam Sword. Definitely nice to have it for the second one. Does get a random bomb too, so back up to 7, so he'll be sitting really nice going into level 9.
I see Putz has 7, Ordrius has 8 bombs.
Correct.
Putz taking a little damage this time, but it's still a very quick push block room. All the enemies just seem to go right where he wanted to walk. So that was nice.
Ordrius struggling a little bit in the second blue Dark Nut room here, down to 5 hearts.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing a little cautiously and is going to be able to finish off those Dark Nuts.
So 3 hearts, potentially fewer based on these enemy spawns, for going into the 4-headed Gleeok. So seems like getting the potion beforehand may have been the right call for him.
And he may switch to bow here and try to pick up a couple of hearts off these Pole's Voice to give him a little bit more insurance. I guess we'll have to see. Putz cutting 15 seconds off of his level 6 split there. So, except these Pole's Voice never seem to want to hand out hearts. Don't have a lot of hearts on their drop table, so he's going to switch to the potion just in case, and he's going to go for battle against Gleeok here.
So Putz is on his way to 8, and looks like we'll see them probably cross over again, one leaving as the other enters.
Oh, and a big sigh of relief from Ordrius as he manages to get through that Gleeok without having to use the potion.
Yeah, good for him. Does lose quite a bit of time in that dungeon, but just getting through that without having to use the potion is nice. And again, it reinforces the reason why he probably did that. He may have struggled a little bit in 8 before and died, and that gives him that safety net just in case. So good for him, though, for not having to use it.
Meanwhile, as he's leaving 8, Putz is just entering and making his way into that first blue Dark Nut room.
Yeah.
Took 2 tries to get the bomb door open.
Unfortunately, I think push down instead of up and place the bomb in the wrong location there. So
wow. Dark Nut's just
hard.
ripping Putz a new one.
No health drops either, so loses 9 hearts in that room. That hurts.
It looks like he's going to try to get some health drops, killing enemies in the in-between room, but only gets a bomb.
And takes a fireball to the face first thing in this room. Putz also having a potion, choosing to use one here.
Yeah, Putz not happy about it, but that's a good choice. Much better than taking a death.
Oh, absolutely.
And now he gets all the health drops.
And now all the HP comes. That's just the way it works. Fred's Law of Zelda. You get what you need when you don't need it.
And not only got the health drops, but finished off the room without taking a hit.
Yeah. But again, like you were saying, you can't... That was attributed partially to Beam Sword. You don't know that would have happened without using the potion, so definitely not worth losing the time of a death and having to clear the first room again on top of it. So either way probably would have had to potion, but this way saves himself a minute of time.
Ordrius, meanwhile, heading through 9, taking quite a bit of damage early on. Let's see if he's going to try to do a Patra skip or if he's going to kill Patra for the bombs.
Well, if I were watching Putz, I would probably go ahead and just kill the Patra, but he's going to go ahead and take the skip. The extra bombs would be nice for reverse C, especially. I guess he's still got 2 potions, so he's okay. But we'll see if he gets lucky with the random drops here. Fortunately, face tanking the blue wizard, they're down to 3.5 hearts, so an orange beam would be enough to do him in, or 2 quick smacks by a blue wizard. So got to be a little bit careful here.
Oh, careful he is, and he manages to clear the room without any further problems.
Probably see him stop to kill these Zol on the way out of this staircase, try to get a couple of heart drops. We'll see if he decides to kill Patra 2 here. Definitely would not. I guess he's going to force a bomb instead, so good idea there. But now going to try to get the Patra skip, or is he going to stop to kill it just to be safe?
He might take one try at the skip, and if he takes a hit, switch to the potion.
Going for the skip does take a bop to the face, and as you predicted, goes straight for the potion.
Good call. Definitely don't want to go into this next room with 1.5 hearts. There's so many things that could go wrong.
And that's really good pacing for having 2 potions to use in level 9. Usually one right before the reverse C room is good, and then another one before the Patra at the end.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's
Obviously,
got 4 bombs to play with.
Oh yeah,
Managed
plenty.
to get the beam sword off on that first orange. And still manages to get up and around before taking the hit.
Yeah, it takes 1 shot, but great reverse C room by him.
Yeah, really fast.
Yes.
Putz not getting a cooperative Patra.
And it is a true run, as he managed to get the crotch stab off of the silver arrows.
Yeah. So Putz will finish off the Patra, pick up the extra bombs.
Ordrius is having a little trouble with the reverse clip, and I don't know if that was intentional of not for him walking back into the reverse C room. I know the physics on those bomb doors are a little wonky.
It could have been a purposeful choice. It lets you reset the room to try it again for the clip.
Putz took a death trying to get through the second passageway.
Not going to be happy about that. At that point, I probably would have just used the potion and hope for the best instead of gambling on it, but he did not, so he's going to have to go through the beginning portion of this again with 3 hearts. Meanwhile, Ordrius having a little trouble with Patra 2B, but does go around and gets through. 4.5 hearts left plus a potion, so he should have no problems finishing this out.
But saying he is going to go for the red ring, and with only one potion left, that's probably a good strategy.
Ordrius reaching for his second potion, not drinking it quite yet, which may be a little bit dangerous, but he manages to get through the last Force Wiz robe room out and decides to drink it now.
Yeah, not necessarily a bad choice. Again, the whole idea here is just to get through this dungeon, so I shouldn't have... I mean, he takes a bop there right afterwards, unfortunately, but should at most take only 1 heart of damage in this next room, and then as long as he has a good patch, he should have plenty of life to get through Ganon.
Yeah, just taking time with the Patra should be enough to get him into Ganon without any trouble.
Oh no, and Putz taking a Wizrobe beam to the back. Only has half a heart to get into the red ring.
At this point, he has a potion. Why does he not just potion?
I think he will.
Okay, I was gonna say, it'd just be silly to not potion with you getting ready to get the red ring. It's basically like having, to 52 hearts, so he should have plenty of health.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first red ring grab we've seen in the tournament?
I believe so. At least for me. I haven't seen anybody else do it.
Ordrius, making his way into Ganon's room, has enough health to take 2 Hyrule drivers. Loses some of that to some fireballs.
Wanders around the middle of the room just a little bit and then decides to go with the safe left-hand side strats that everybody usually falls back to. So, good choice by him. Looks like he's going to have no problems cleaning this up.
Yep.
Not quite a stun lock, but some pretty quick hits.
Indeed. Ganon is down, and he is finished with an official SRL time of 39 minutes, 8 seconds.
Yeah, good game by him. Fantastic time.
A birthday win. So, for winning this match, Ordrius will get to move on to face Dragon Dark. Dragon Dark having by far the lowest losing time to enter the lower bracket. Almost 3 minutes faster than anyone else who dropped down in the first 3 rounds. So it's going to be a
Dark. No slouch. Almost beat Reeves.
Yeah, it was a great race. So Ordrius will definitely have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, unfortunately, Putz will be knocked out of the tournament here without seeing too many of his crazy strats, so we can hope that Lack organizes another one of these in 6 months so we can see some more of his stuff.
Maybe we'll see Putz do some exhibition races on Saturday.
There we go.
Putz getting a clock for the reverse C room, which is always nice to have. And Ordrius says he will not be joining us for interviews. He's got some stuff to go take care of. Stuff being an angry wife, apparently. Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. No one likes angry wives.
But hey, I'm glad that they got their race in. I know that that's been a little bit of an issue getting those scheduled, so it's nice to get that taken care of.
Yeah, it's true. Ordrius is, in some ways, undefeated in this tournament. He was not able to play a second race against Cananophone because he was moving. So he won the play-in round, and then he won this round, and has yet to actually play and lose a tournament race.
Putz making fantastic use out of the red ring to just face tank these Wizroads.
Gets another second clock.
Yeah, how much different Zelda could be if the red ring were not in level 9 and so far out of the way.
Indeed. Many of randomizer seeds have taught us that.
Yeah, it's just, even with 3 hearts and a wood sword, once you get the red ring, you can just do basically whatever you want, and it's pretty much impossible to die unless you're specifically trying to do so. Putz going to clean up the patcher before Ganon here. Making pretty quick work out of him. Going to have 5.5 hearts, which is for 5 hearts, 6 hearts. Basically like having 24, so should have no problems whatsoever finishing up Ganon here.
Well, it is Putz. You never know what could happen.
That is true.
Managing to finally get the stun lock, cleaning him up, not a problem. And he puts in his dot done with an official time of 42 minutes, 58 seconds.
And he finishes the tournament with a grayscale ending.
The swag. It's still not a bad run by any means. I mean, 42.58 is not a bad run. at all, especially for a non-blue ring run. So just some interesting decisions there. Like the arrow buy and some other decisions like that, the early heart. A few things like that come into question, but I don't know that they would have made a 3-minute difference. Maybe we can get him in here and have an interview. We do have another race that is supposed to be coming up here pretty quick, I believe. Supposed to start right now between Penulf and Zarnax 42.
Yeah, it's the first of 2 races in a row that'll involve one of the French players. So they're late evening races in France, afternoon for us.
And I think we've got Putz in here now.
Yeah.
Hi, Putz.
Hi.
How you doing?
Pretty crappy, thank you.
Well, it's still a good run.
Never done.
If that's your first race and you got a 42.58, that's pretty good.
No, I said worst race I've ever done.
Oh, worst race. Well, I'll pretend he said first, and good job.
Well, you took 1 bad death and 9.
Oh, I took everything. I don't even want to talk about it. It's bad. Screen scrolls failing, ladder clips are failing. Just about everything that could go wrong was going wrong. Same as the first race I had with ACLM, except minus the death at 9. It was the death at 5.
So we
bad.
We did have one question. We noticed that you opted to buy the arrows south of the ladder heart rather than south.
Okay.
That's what we were wondering.
Stupid. It's just one thing after another, and it kept snowballing, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, but this is consistently happening. This is why I rarely race this stuff. Can't believe I got knocked out like that. That's lame.
No, we were definitely sad we didn't get to run some more unconventional routes.
I didn't get to do any unconventional routes because I just kept on doing crap. I was surprised I had to actually potion in 8. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, you took a ton of hits in that first Darknut room, so
Yeah,
potioning.
I never take hits there normally.
Potioning,
Well, I mean, I do, but not like that.
Yeah, but using the potion was really the only option at that point.
And I debated about an 8, and I'm like, well, screw it, and, I'll just manage to get as far as I can before using it. If I use it there, I'm gonna probably die later, and then I'm gonna be really, SOL. And after I die, I'm like, you know what, just screw it, I'm gonna get Red Ring and just be done with it. Because I'm taking way too many hits all game long. I was just plain bad. And a lot of it really has to do with my controller, because I don't know if you guys noticed, like, some of those screens, I was walking, like, half the room, like, randomly. And it's all because of my controller when I'm trying to press up and it's, like, going left and then up, down, something. It drives me nuts. 360 controllers were really bad.